All right, let's look at question number 2. It asks us to compare the two expressions using less than, greater than, or equal. For each, we need to explain how you can determine the answer without calculating. So for those of you who actually multiplied out 100 times 8, or you multiplied 4 times 9 and then multiplied it by 25, and you got your answer, and you said, oh, this one is bigger than the other one, or these are the same, because these are what they're worth. This is the value of these expressions. That's why you would have gotten it wrong, because it specifically says in the direction without calculating. Well, how might you do that? Well, we're going to use our number sense to think about what it would be worth without calculating. Let's take a look at an example. So here I've got 24 times 20 plus 5. And over here I have 20 plus 5 times 12. So if I go ahead and I take a look at this, I can see that both of my pieces have 20 plus 5. Now I could add that. In fact, most of us would add that in our head and say, well, that's 25. The next step most of us are probably not going to be able to do. We're not going to be able to do 24 times 25 in our head or 25 times 12 in our head. But since we know that both of these pieces that I've underlined in yellow are worth the same, we can know that making 12 copies of that amount is going to be way less than making 24 copies of that amount. 24 copies is more. If you think about putting 20 plus 5 on a copy machine and making 24 copies, or putting 20 plus 5 on a copy machine and making 12 copies, the stack of paper over here is going to be way higher. So I know that that is bigger. Well, what does my explanation look like? I could say something like, and I'm just going to switch over to typing here because I think that'll be a little bit faster. 20 plus 5 is in both expressions. So making 24 copies of it will create a bigger, we're going to say greater because that's more appropriate, a greater product than only making 12 copies. Okay, so that's my explanation. This is the symbol that put in. I didn't actually solve them. Okay, so coming back to here, I'm going to think about the amounts here, and I'm going to decide which one is bigger, and then I have to explain how I figured that out without calculating. Now, I might do a little bit of calculating. For example, right here I could say, 25 times 4 is 100, and that's the same as 100 over here. I haven't calculated the whole problem, but that's going to let me know that, okay? Down here, I noticed that there are 12s on both sides, despite the fact that over here they're written with words and over here they're written as a number. And over here I see a 24 and I see a 24 here. So those might be things to look at as you take a look at solving these problems. Good luck.